Hello, and welcome to the Brave as Fuck podcast. My name is Jessica, and I am your host. I'm excited, I am honored, I'm humbled that you are here again today. Now, in full transparency, I had a completely different plan for today's episode. In fact, I'm recording this the morning that I plan on posting it, which is not probably recommended by any professional podcaster out there. However, this topic is near and dear to my heart, and it is front and center of my mind and my thoughts right now because we are about to come on Christmas. This is the holiday week for those of you that celebrate Christmas, right? It is Tuesday, December 23rd. And there's a few things that I want to talk about today. And one of those things is single parenting during the holidays and how fucking difficult that is and how you got to be brave and put on your face, especially those first few years if you have children and you're trying to explain why everything has changed and you're trying to break old traditions, create new traditions, and yet heal all at the same time. Like, it's a really fucking difficult season of life. Anybody who's been through divorce, even without children, is difficult. But if you have children, it is just to the umpteenth power, right? But before we dive into that, I have a little rant. And those of you that know me, I'm not one to typically rant, not at least publicly, for sure. And things don't usually ruffle my feathers too much. But today I had a moment and I wanted to share that with you. So I ran out this morning at 7 a.m., 7:30 to Walmart. Not my favorite store. Gonna put that out there. Today, even less favorite, all right? So I'm running out early to grab those last minute gifts. What I mean by that is the candy, the little things, right, that you put in there. And long story short, I've done this every year for as long as I can remember, being 15, 16 years old. This has been my process. Anyways, I go in today. It is, again, let me just remind you, Tuesday, December 23rd. Not the 24th. It's not Christmas Eve. It is the 23rd. And y'all, you know how when you walk in the store, you have those first 4 or 5 aisles dedicated to whatever season it may be, right? You go in and you find Christmas. Typically, you will find Christmas candy, little stocking stuffers, little stuffed animals, perhaps little gift sets that you can give for families or maybe a coworker or just like a last minute grab and go type gift that you need to get. This is expected. It has been that way for as long as I can remember. Y'all, I am 46 years old. I've been doing this, again, since I was 15, 16 years old. I walk in today, and I shit you not, today, on December 23rd, those aisles are completely filled with Valentine's gifts. Valentine's candy, Valentine's cards, Valentine's little knickknacks, and stuffed animals with the hearts, and I love you and forever mine. And I'm like, what in the fuck is happening right now? Now, I had the same look on my face as the other mothers that were standing there in a sheer panic. Y'all, and all I could think was, holy fucking hell, Walmart is about to ruin Christmas for millions everywhere. If every Walmart has done this, and maybe every location hasn't, so I want to know. Y'all, I want you to comment and let me know. Was yours like this on December 23rd? Maybe it's just a Wake Forest, North Carolina fuck up. But, y'all, listen to me. I know, especially as a single parent, but as a parent in general, how many times I have shopped on Christmas Eve for those last minute things. Partly, for a variety of reasons. One, because you just didn't want your kids to find the candy beforehand, or 2, you didn't want to eat the candy before Christmas. Okay, that's a real fucking struggle by itself. All right, let's just be honest. But how many times were you waiting for that last paycheck to come in to go get your last, hoorah of gifts before the holiday? Or perhaps it's the first time you have off from work that you can go shopping. And so you go get those last minute things. Or perhaps you were waiting for some tips to come in from your shift, from waitressing or hairstylist or whatever it might be, waiting for that last, push of money to come in so that you can finish up your shopping. Or maybe you're waiting for the next credit card statement, or picking up your layaway, which I don't know if that's still a thing, but hear me out. So many people shop for their gifts, for their children, especially on Christmas Eve. And the day before, even more so. So imagine my shock when you go in and there is no fucking Christmas stuff anywhere. I found some in the back of the store, but not the candy. No, that was gone. Nothing. So imagine my shock when I thought, how many parents are going to come in here planning to get the usual because It's not Christmas yet. It's not even Christmas Eve, and the shit is gone. And I'm thinking to myself, how many kids are going to open their stockings on Christmas morning and be like, why did Santa get us Valentine's candy? Mom, explain that, Mom. And she can't. Why? Because who the fuck does that? So these parents are now left with a dilemma, walking in the last minute, planning to pick up all their things, and they are going to have to either A, not purchase the items, B, purchase them and completely ruin their children's childhood and traumatize them and have a lot to explain, or they're going to go to another store. And who's got time for that shit? Like, anyways, I just had to share that right now. I just wanted to put that out there because it's an absolute bullshit move. And I'm hoping they reconsider that next year because that's a FUBAR moment in my mind. All right. I digress. The other things I want to talk about, being brave at the holidays especially, is super difficult when you are newly either divorced or perhaps your spouse passed away. I'm going to speak specifically to divorce because that's my experience. If you're a widow and you have similar feelings, absolutely, share your stories in the comments. When you are in those first few years after your divorce, so for me, 2017, I had separated. I had been married for 14 and a half years, 19 and a half years together. This was our first Christmas apart. It was the first Christmas away from my kids, and they were 11 and 4, and it was heart-wrenching. At the time, I was a family photographer, and I refused to do any family sessions because I couldn't do them without bawling. I was like, I don't want to see happy families, and I don't want to see families pretending to be happy. And you get both as a photographer, okay? I didn't want to do that. So I didn't have the extra money, and I also knew that I wouldn't have my children, and I didn't want to be alone. And I was so blessed because I had so many friends that had reached out and said, hey, come spend it with us. You don't want to be alone. And while I didn't want to be alone, I didn't want to be with someone else's happy family that was still together. You know what I mean? Like, that was just too much for me. So I went to the movies by myself for the first time ever. And I was, I don't know, 34, 35. No, I can't remember. I can't do the math, and I'm not going to do it on the show and show you all that I can't do the math, but I was old enough that that was a big deal, and it was scary, and it was like, what are people going to think? And here's the thing. Nobody thought anything. Nobody had any clue what I was doing. They're alone. They didn't know my story. I wasn't the only one that was there alone. And quite frankly, I didn't know anybody in the theater, and it gets dark once they start the movie. So like, nobody was paying attention to me. And that was my first like real lesson in that, is that nobody's paying attention to that. Okay. And 99% of the time they're not. And the ones that are at certain moments, it's because they either can relate to your story or maybe they're nosy. Either way, it has nothing to do with you, okay? It's their own thought process when they see it. So I'm in this movie and I go to that alone, and then I end up meeting somebody for dinner and going home, which, by the way, there's like 5 places open on Christmas Day. You learn which ones those are when you're, single, divorced, and don't have your kids. But it was a milestone for me because it was the first kind of real thing that I had done on my own that is typically seen as something you do with someone else, right? Slowly after that, I started to go, to restaurants, and I would sit there by myself and take myself out to eat. And I started booking trips, and I would take vacations, and I would go places that, again, you wouldn't typically think of, at least not initially, of doing yourself. At least not me, because I had always been with someone since I was 17. I had never been single. And so it was a completely different thing, and it was scary and it was vulnerable, but I survived and I did it. And the more often I did it, the more I actually enjoyed it. Now I'm in a healthy relationship, and I love his companionship and that we do all these things together, but I also appreciate being alone with myself at times and doing things and knowing that I can, and that at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck what I'm doing with my day, where I'm eating, or what movie I'm watching, or what activity I choose to do by myself. And there's some freedom in doing things by yourself, you guys, because you can do whatever it is you want to do. And I'm telling you, when you do it, it's empowering. So I'm going to encourage you to do it and do it more. And if you've never done it, and if you're one of those people like, oh my gosh, I've never been to a restaurant by myself, go and fucking do it. Go sit at the bar. Even if you don't drink, I'm telling you, go sit at the bar. You will meet amazing people. Go and just enjoy your meal. Savor the bite and look around. Pay attention. You'd be amazed to see how many people either come alone or they come with other people and they're miserable. And you aren't one of those people anymore. So, take that for what it is. Anyways, I just wanted to share these couple thoughts with you, and I wanted to give you some encouragement that if you haven't done those things, do that. I wanted to go on my little rant about Walmart because holy fucking hell, that was the stupidest decision they've ever made. Again, you don't put Valentine stuff out on December 23rd. You at least wait until after Christmas when you put the candy on clearance like they used to, right? Like, where's my 75% off candy? Damn. Y'all just fucked it up this year. And I'm grateful. My kids are older. They aren't going to give two shits what they get in the stocking from a candy perspective. Candy's candy. It's not the point. I feel deeply for these parents who don't know what's about to hit them and blindside them at the last minute just before Christmas, and they're left to scramble and save the day yet again. Come on, Walmart, you can do better. But yeah, like I said, this wasn't the episode I had planned for today, and obviously I'm in a hoodie and a hat, as I told you would happen, because this was not planned for today. But I needed to get this out there, and I wanted to really share it. And like I was saying, it's something near and dear to my heart right now. It's just this whole season of, it can be really sad, right? When you are by yourself, you think you failed, and let me tell you something, you have not failed. When you have to split ways from somebody, and whether it's on your terms or their terms, or it's a mutual decision, ultimately it's the healthiest decision if you aren't choosing each other anyway, right? And so it's best for you and everybody in the end. But those first few months, that first year, those first few holidays can be brutal. And I know that. I have felt that, and I empathize with you. And I want to encourage you that it does get easier. It does get better. And you don't have to be, and I appeal to you to not be jealous of families that look like they have it all together. Social media can be a bitch. It can make you feel like you're the only one that hasn't built something amazing and wonderful because you're alone, and it's bullshit. Because I can tell you from personal experience that a lot of those families that seem so perfect online, when you go spend some time with them, offline aren't so perfect. They're miserable, or they've lost themselves, or they aren't living their best life because they're catering to someone else, or they've completely given up on their own dreams and they've become someone else just to keep the peace. There are so many people who don't enjoy each other, and yet they post the most perfect family photos, especially now with AI and that whole bullshit. That's going to be another show, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But I mean, I had fun with the holiday pictures too. I know a lot of you posted those. I posted a few, I made some, we played with it. We had fun with it. But my point is this: AI can make anybody look happy. They can make any family look like they got it together and they got it going on and they got a good thing, and they don't. Okay? So don't let that fool you. Don't let social media fool you that you have failed, that you are late. Maybe you're not even divorced. Maybe you're just single, and that's okay too. Don't rush into something that you're not meant to be in. What do they call it? The whole cuffing season or whatever. People go out at the holidays and want to have somebody on their arm just to have somebody. Do not play that bullshit game, please. Promise me you won't play that. It is such a fucking facade, and it's a mask, and it ruins everything. It ruins the genuineness of true love and authenticity. And it's not about having someone just to have someone, because I can tell you I've done that and it's not worth it. Have someone who's worth having. And if that's just you, then let it be just you. Okay? Hear me out on this. Stop playing the game. Stop trying to fit the bill. Stop trying to meet a mark. Stop trying to, set a bar that, you feel you need to achieve by a certain age, or to, get approval from a certain group, or to prove your worth, or prove that you're choosable. Don't fucking do that and lower yourself to that. Wait until you find the one who knows your worth and chooses you. Okay? Because I can tell you now from experience, because I've been on the other side of it, but now having someone who chooses me for who I am, it's fucking night and day, and it's worth it. Okay? So I want to encourage you to do the same. I probably won't see all y'all before, so if I don't talk to you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, another show to come. Talk to you soon.